Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the call with Vice President, Technical Director Carlos Bocanegra and forward Luiz Araújo. We're going to start with an opening statement from Carlos, and then we'll take questions for Luiz, and then Carlos will stick around after for any questions for him as well. And just remember, it's a webinar, so please use the raise your hand function, and I'll give you access to talk. With that, we'll start with Carlos.
Morning, everybody. We're excited to welcome Luiz to the club. He's the type of player we're excited to get. Great mentality, a winning pedigree. He's coming off of a title-winning season with Lille in France. He fits the profile of the club that we like to bring in, and we're excited to get him integrated with the group. We think he's going to be a great talent and really give us a boost for the second half of the season. So saying that, I'll turn it back over to you, Justin, and have the questions for Luiz.
Thanks, Carlos. We'll take the first question from Doug. Go ahead.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Carlos. And it's nice to meet you, Luiz. I'm Doug from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I'm curious, you're leaving a team that won France's first division and is going to be in the Champions League. Why did you decide to do that to come to Major League Soccer and Atlanta United?
Oi, Luiz, meu nome é Doug. Eu estou surpreso que você, depois de vencer a primeira divisão da Liga Francesa, decidiu juntar-se ao Atlanta United.
Olá, boa tarde. Primeiramente, estou muito feliz de ter assinado com o Atlanta. É um novo desafio para mim. Como você disse, conquistei o título da Ligue 1. Muito feliz, o Troféu dos Campeões também. E estou aqui para um novo desafio. E como eu não saí campeão, mas espero sair campeão aqui também. Muito motivado. E espero que conquiste muitos títulos com o Atlanta. E a minha escolha foi pelo projeto também, que o Atlanta me apresentou. Um grande projeto. Um campeonato que vem crescendo muito, ano após ano. Eu tenho certeza que eu fiz uma excelente escolha e junto com o Atlanta eu vou ser muito feliz.
I am very happy to be here. I am very motivated about this new challenge. I made a decision to come here because I was presented a great project and I like how the league is growing, and I think I made a great choice. Yes, I won the French Super Cup and the Ligue 1, but again, I think this is going to be a very good challenge for myself.
Next question will go to Felipe.
Thank you, Justin. Hi, Luiz. This is Felipe Cardenas with The Athletic. I wanted to ask you about what do you think you can accomplish here in MLS? Personally, how do you want to grow as a footballer? And tactically, how can you contribute to this Atlanta United team immediately?
Luiz, eu gostaria de saber o que você pensa em conquistar aqui em Atlanta e como você vê que você pode ajudar o time.
O que eu posso conquistar aqui? Espero conquistar o máximo de título possível. Estou muito feliz, tenho certeza que fiz uma grande escolha, como eu já disse. Eu quero conquistar os títulos que eu disputar. Eu vim aqui para isso. Eu vim aqui para dar o meu melhor. Eu venho vivendo um grande momento da minha carreira, tenho 25 anos, venho de ser campeão, então, e sei que é bom ser campeão. Acho que é o auge da carreira de um jogador, conquistar títulos. Então, o que eu quero conquistar aqui é títulos. Eu quero poder jogar e poder mostrar para os Estados Unidos quem é o Luiz Araújo e poder dar muita alegria para os torcedores de Atlanta.
The main thing for me, like I'm very happy to be here, and I really like to win titles. So the main reason why I'm here is because I would like to accomplish to win the league. It's something that I've enjoyed my whole life, to be a champion. So I am looking forward to do that here. I am very happy to be in the MLS and to show the MLS who Luiz Araújo is.
Next question to Joe Patrick.
Hi, Luiz. Good afternoon or good morning. Have you been in contact with the club about if you will be available for Sunday's match? And if so, I know that you've been training in preseason and playing in some preseason games. How does your fitness feel at this point?
Gostaria de saber se o clube já comunicou com você, se você estará disponível para o jogo de domingo. E eu sei que você já vem fazendo a pré-temporada. E como é que você se sente fisicamente no momento?
Ainda verdadeiramente não sei se vou estar disponível, mas já deixando uma pauta aqui, espero que sim, espero que o clube agilize isso o mais rápido possível, que eu esteja no jogo domingo. Fisicamente eu estou muito bem, vindo uma pré-temporada muito boa, também vindo uma final no Troféu dos Campeões, joguei os quase 90 minutos, então estou muito bem fisicamente também, então estou pronto para jogar, espero que o clube agilize isso e que eu possa estar estreando pelo Atlanta domingo.
I'm not sure yet, but I hope so. I hope I'm available for the game this Sunday. I had a very good preseason in France. I played almost 90 minutes against PSG in the French Super Cup. And again, I feel good, and I really hope I am able to play on Sunday.
Joe, I can step in and comment on that. We are not sure yet. We're obviously trying to get his visa situation sorted as quickly as possible, but that will be unknown possibly right up until the game.
Thanks, Carlos.
Next question will go to Tom Bogert.
Hey, thanks for the time. I just wanted to kind of this move seemed to come together pretty quickly. What were your first thoughts, when Atlanta became an option, and how fast did things move getting the deal over the line?
Qual foi o seu pensamento quando surgiu a proposta do Atlanta e quanto tempo mais ou menos foi esse contato com você?
A proposta surgiu uns 2-3 dias antes, chegou a minha proposta de fechar a janela para os Estados Unidos aqui. Foi muito rápido, procurei conversar com meus amigos brasileiros que jogam aqui na Liga, também com o Rosseto, que é brasileiro também que joga no Atlanta. Me falaram super bem, me falaram do projeto também, enquanto a Liga vem crescendo. O projeto me animou muito, então foi muito rápido de conversar com meus agentes, tive uma conversa com o Carlos também, isso ajudou muito. E agora estou muito feliz, estou no Atlanta, espero ter muito sucesso aqui e conquistar muitos títulos.
Our communication started 2 to 3 days before the window closed. And I called some friends that I have here in the MLS. I spoke to Matheus Rosseto as well, and they gave me very positive insights about the league and about the club. So I was very happy about the information I received from them, and also my conversations with my agents and with Carlos. Like, it really felt like it was the right move for me.
Next question will go to Sydney Hunt.
Good morning. I'm Luiz. Welcome to Atlanta, first of all. You mentioned you spoke to Matheus Rosseto about this opportunity before you came here, as well as some other players from Brazil in MLS. What was your relationship with Matheus before coming to Atlanta?
Você falou que, como você tinha falado com o Matheus e alguns outros jogadores, gostaria de saber qual o seu relacionamento com o Matheus, assim, até antes de você chegar aqui em Atlanta.
Antes eu não tinha muita conversa com o Rosseto, até a gente não chegou a jogar junto no Brasil, passei muito rápido ele também, mas assim que fiquei sabendo que ia vir para cá, o Rosseto me enviou uma mensagem me desejando boas-vindas e conversei bastante com ele, me explicou quase tudo sobre aqui, me falou como funciona, me falou também da Liga, então fiquei muito animado, estou muito feliz. E os outros brasileiros são meus amigos que jogaram comigo nas categorias de base do São Paulo, então também me falaram super bem, isso ajudou muito com que eu tomasse a decisão e estivesse aqui na Atlanta.
Rosseto and I, we weren't very close before, but once this opportunity to come here came up, we started to talk a lot, and especially after I signed, he told me everything about the city, the club, the league. Also, my other Brazilian friends who I played with in São Paulo, they had very good positive things to talk about the MLS.
Next question, back to Doug.
Am I unmuted, Justin?
We got you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, two questions, please. Can you just give the team supporters a scouting report of yourself? What do you do well, and what do you think you need to improve upon? And second question is, did you have any concerns about joining a club that right now has an interim manager?
Eu queria que você dissesse para os torcedores mais ou menos que tipo de jogador você é. E a outra parte, a outra pergunta é do que você acha de então, chegar aqui em Atlanta como treinador interino.
Eu sou um jogador, torcedores que não me conhecem ainda, sou um jogador de muita velocidade. Gosto de jogar pelo lado do campo. Gosto de trazer muito para dentro para usar uma das grandes características minhas, que é a finalização, usar bastante a minha perna esquerda. Gosto bastante do drible, gosto bastante de ajudar a equipe. Então, o torcedor pode esperar que, quando eu estiver dentro de campo, eu vou dar tudo para ajudar o Atlanta a sair vitorioso. Mas também tenho muita qualidade ofensiva para poder mostrar aqui. E sobre o treinador, eu tenho certeza que esse treinador que está aqui é capacitado para poder estar no comando. E estou muito feliz. Conversei com ele, me mandou mensagem, estou feliz com ele. Espero poder ajudar ele e que a gente faça um grande trabalho junto.
For the fans, I like to use my speed. I usually play a wide, but I like to bring the ball inside so I can use my left foot to shoot. I am always very committed to helping my teammates as well, offensively and defensively. I am very happy that I spoke with Rob Valentino whenever I signed here, and I am very confident that him and I can work together and do great things for the club.
Thank you.
Next one to Felipe.
Thank you, Justin. Luis, just kind of a personal question. Like, do you speak any other languages besides Portuguese? And what were those conversations like with Rob Valentino? Was it more kind of like a welcome, or did you get into perhaps some of the tactics and the way this team wants to play once you can play?
Você fala outra língua sem ser português? São duas perguntas, eu respondo essa. Se você fala outra língua além de português?
Eu falo português. O tempo que eu passei na França, aprendi a falar um pouco do francês. Consigo também entender o espanhol. O inglês ainda não falo, mas vou começar a fazer aula e espero em breve estar podendo falar para conversar com todos aqui do clube.
Yeah, when I was in France, I learned how to speak French, and I understand a little bit of Spanish. But I'm excited to learn English, and hopefully, like, I'll start my classes soon, so I'll be able to speak with everybody in English. Outra pergunta foi como é que foi sua conversa com o Rob?
A conversa foi simples, foi um olá, um bem-vindo aqui, dizendo que está muito feliz com a minha chegada, também disse que estou muito feliz de chegar no Atlanta. A conversa foi rápida e as outras coisas ficou no privado, que é coisa entre jogador e treinador.
Yeah. Our conversation was very nice. It was more of a welcome, that he welcomed here and everything, and it was a quick chat. There were other things to our conversation, but I would like to keep it between the player and the coach.
We have time for a couple more questions for Luis, if anyone has them, before we go back to Carlos. Doug, go ahead.
I was curious, what did the people you spoke with say about MLS, and why did that appeal to you?
O que o pessoal que você conversou, seus amigos que você perguntou da MLS, tipo, o que eles falaram sobre a MLS, o que eles falaram que fez você decidir para cá?
Não, os que meus amigos conversaram comigo aqui é uma liga muito boa, uma liga que vem crescendo muito. Perguntei também como era viver aí nos Estados Unidos, também falou que era maravilhoso o país. Perguntei se conhecia o Atlanta, disse que sim, que é uma grande equipe da MLS. Então isso me motivou muito. Perguntei também da liga, se era parecido com o Brasil, como que era. Disse que era uma liga uma liga muito boa e onde vem crescendo. Então, como eu já disse, me motivou bastante estar aqui, aceitar esse novo desafio. Espero ser muito feliz aqui.
No, my friends talk to me about how, you know, how good the league is at the moment and how it is growing. They talk about the quality of life in the U.S. and I asked them if they knew the club, Atlanta United, and they all had very good things to say about the club. So again, I'm very happy to be here, and I think the MLS is a great league for me to be in.
Doug, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, one more. It looks like Lille has been selling a lot of players. And then, of course, PSG just added a pretty good player today. Did that factor into your decision? Because you said you like to win titles.
O Lille começou a vender muito jogador agora no momento. E o PSG hoje anunciando outro jogador. Está perguntando se isso influenciou na tua decisão de sair, porque você falou que gosta de ganhar títulos. O fato do Lille estar vendendo.
Não, o Lille está vendendo muitos jogadores, é normal. Um time que é campeão de uma liga importante como a da França, é normal que saia jogadores. Eu tenho certeza que o Lille também vai trazer novos jogadores. Em questão do time do PSG, não era muito importante para a gente lá. A gente estava preocupado com o nosso trabalho, isso não influenciou em nada. O que influenciou bastante foi que eu tinha só mais um ano de contrato, estava no fim do meu contrato. E também estava em busca de um novo desafio. E como esse Atlanta me mostrou um projeto muito bom, me mostrou um novo desafio, procurei aceitar. Estou aqui pronto para poder ajudar.
No, I think that it's normal for a winning team, you know, after you win a title, like that the club sells a lot of the players. We at Lille would never really care about PSG. We were always focused on doing our job and our part. I was also in the last year of my contract, so I was looking for a new challenge. And after speaking to Atlanta United and seeing what the project they had to offer, I thought it was a good decision to come here for this, to challenge myself.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll conclude Luis's part of the press conference. Thank you, Luis, and thank you, Ricardo. And now we'll go back and take questions for Carlos. First one will go to Joe Patrick. Go ahead.
Carlos, you mentioned at the top about how Luiz fits into the profile that you guys are looking for. Can you just elaborate a little bit about that and just specifically what those qualities are?
Yeah, look, he's a direct player. He's pacey. I think he's going to give us a little bit of balance. We've got quite a few guys right-footed. He's left-footed. He can play on the left, play on the right, play underneath the striker. So it's the type of player we like to bring in here. And the great part is his work ethic. And I was able to speak directly to his former coach that he won the title with at Lille, and talk about his character, talk about his work ethic and training, how he's around the team. And so, those were some invaluables that we thought were great characteristics to have and add to our club, on top of his ability on the field. But look, we see him as another piece that can help unlock a defense, help stretch the defense, whether it's getting in behind or cutting in or getting to the byline. So yeah, just another attacking threat, another attacking weapon to help us push for the end of the year.
Next question to Felipe.
Thank you, Carlos. You kind of just brought this up, like you described Luis, but I think my question is, there were just a lot of reported targets that you guys had on your radar leading up to this transfer deadline. So I guess my question is just, why Luis in the end? Was it a kind of a combination of what he can bring to the team and the fact that perhaps other deals fell through? Because each player that we saw reported, similar tendencies, but slightly different player profiles.
Yeah, so I mean, I think probably some of the reports were accurate, some of the reports were not accurate. This always happens in the transfer window. So, but yeah, it was all about timing with this one. We've known about Luis for a while. Obviously, I've got relationships over in France, and he'd been on our radar. And then the timing worked out where he had become available. So, we ended up going for him in the end, but this is how it works in the transfer window, and you guys know, this is why we have the scouting department. This is why we have our up on the big board, so to speak, of the type of players we would like to bring in, and he fits the profile exactly with what we wanted. So really excited we were able to bring him in. You heard him, he's excited to come here. It's a great challenge. I think it speaks volume about our league that the players like him are choosing to come here when they have other opportunities, because they see it's competitive. They see it's a growing league. They see it's a great opportunity for themselves and a great challenge.
Next question to Doug.
Carlos, one of those players is Thiago Almada. The Leeds Sarsfield's president said he's joining in January, joining Atlanta United in January. Can you confirm that, please, and also provide an update on the coaching search?
Sure. Double question, Doug. You snuck that one in there. Yeah, look, we like I said, we're rumored with quite a few people. So I'm not going to comment on anything. We've signed Luis. That's the only player we've signed. And as far as the coaching search, it's going well. We've talked to a few candidates, and we hope to have some news for you guys soon.
Next question will go to Tom Bogert.
Hey, Carlos, thanks for taking the time. I know it was probably a bit of a whirlwind at the end of the deadline there. Can you just kind of take me through how this deal got done, if there was any worries that, the paperwork wasn't going to be filed or finalized in time before the deadline, and just kind of what that was all like for both you and I guess the player?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was anywhere as wild or kind of the drama that I think is reported. We weren't really too concerned about getting it over at the deadline. With MLS, we have to obviously go through the MLS back to us, and then we go to the club. So every contract, that something wasn't capitalized, or it's not in New York State, it's with FIFA. Every little change has to go back through us to the MLS. So it's just a little bit more time consuming, but it's nothing where the MLS they do a good job, and the guys were attentive and very helpful. So yeah, I think maybe it was a little bit over dramatized, maybe how it actually went down.
Next question to Sydney Hunt. Go ahead, Sydney.
Hey, Carlos, thanks for doing this. Doug kind of asked a question about the coaching search. Going back to that, talking about Rob Valentino, and looking at the players, it seems like they really enjoy playing for him. The positivity has been really up there, even though you all had been in that long winless streak. Have you all given any thought to maybe keeping him toward the end of the year, or are you still committed to bringing in a new face to the club?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Look, I think those conversations, what we have internally with Rob, are gonna stay internal. He has done an excellent job. You can see how much he's respected. You can see, he's done a really good job giving the guys kind of freedom and the ability to have that creativity and the belief. So I can't speak enough about Rob as a coach, but even more as a person. And he's earned that respect from all the players and all his staff members and colleagues here around the club, and that was why we wanted to have him lead the team in this interim period. He's just a really good guy, and so top that off with being intelligent, a great up and coming coach. We're really happy to have him on our staff and just a part of our club.
Next question back to Felipe.
Thanks, Carlos. Just first question, is Luis already training with the first team?
So the plan is for Luis to start training with the team tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. And then just back to Rob and kind of the coaching search. One, there is a report today on Gonzalo Pineda that those talks are ongoing. Can you confirm that? And then, you've been in this position. You've been a player at the club level, at the national team level. When players are kind of openly supporting a coach that they believe in, is kind of sudden change and like a sharp pivot to another manager. Do you believe that could possibly kind of unsettle this locker room again? A lot of change that they've gone through in the last few months.
Yeah, I think there's always change in football clubs, right? Whether it's new players coming in, new managers. What we really tried to do with our backroom staff, and Rob included, is I think you heard him speak to it, not change too much from what was going on. Try to make some tweaks. Rob has he's his own person. He's unique in how he interacts with the players in and around the locker room, the culture of the club. So, we've already tried to make sure we try and minimize that, because we're aware that, lots of changes, kind of knee-jerk reactions, going one way, going the other way, that can be difficult as a player, or even as a staff member, getting used to someone's rhythm. So Rob's done a really good job of putting his spin on it and making some tweaks here and there and bringing his unique personality to the group. But we've already, been very mindful of not trying to make big changes to this group.
And then if you could just perhaps comment on the report out of Seattle at Gonzalo Pineda, those talks are ongoing.
We've been talking to a few people, Felipe, as you guys know. So I'm not going to comment on anyone specific, but hopefully we can have some news for you guys soon.
All right, we'll take two more questions for Carlos. First to Doug and then Nico Moreno.
Yeah, Carlos. Has the club received any offers from any other clubs for any of its players, specifically talking about Miles Robinson and George Bello? And has the club received notice of the investigation into the grievances filed by MLSPA against Heinze, or against the club / Heinze?
So your last question, that's not something for me to speak about. That's you can ask the league on that one.
Okay.
We don't deal directly with the union on anything. That's not that's through the players, and then the league as how we operate as the single entity. And then with the players, look, there's always interest in our guys, which is great. We're not looking to move any of our players at the moment, at this summer. You never know what comes up, Doug, in all honesty. The transfer window is still open in Europe. We've still got a lot of time, but we'd like to make a push to the end of the season and really try and go for it. Obviously, we showed the intent with bringing in Luiz here. We've got our guys back from the national team. We're getting guys back from injury. So, see a little bit more confidence coming in the last few games. And we want to make a push. And this season, we still feel like there's a lot left to play for.
Okay. Thank you.
Last question to Nico Moreno. Go ahead.
Carlos, I guess just to piggyback off of the questions that have already been asked, I wanted to know why the pressure to kind of have a new coach take over and perhaps not leave the interim head coach that's currently there, and what tools do you need to provide the new head coach so that he could be more successful than your last two coaches? Thank you.
Yeah, no, look, I think this is for everybody. I mean, I know you guys are asking a lot of different questions. These are the decisions. There are a lot of thought and discussion and debate goes into this. We think about all kinds of different things, atmosphere changes, culture. So we take that all into account. But, the biggest thing for us, like I said, is we've been trying our best to keep everything, not big changes, so to speak, little tweaks here and there, try to make little improvements, and as we move forward. So I get it from you guys with the questions with this, and they're fair questions, but these are decisions that, they're not just kind of made at the drop of a hat. Lots of discussion goes into it, lots of input, lots of due diligence and research, and then we end up having to make a decision as a club where we think we're going to put our best foot forward and what's best for the club, the players, the city, and the fans.
And what can you do different? What kind of tools could you provide this new coach so things go better than they have recently?
What can we do? What differently? What by how, sir?
What tools? What can you handle differently with this new coach that you're looking for, so that he's more successful than perhaps the last two?
I think we have a pretty well resourced club here. To be quite honest, I think anybody who works here, I think anybody who comes here, we're very fortunate to be a well-resourced coach. So I think just making sure it fits right is the biggest thing we look for.
All right. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, everyone, for joining the call. That'll conclude this call, and we'll be sure to have the recording out as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.